Hello YouTube, John here with Beer, Bourbon and Bushcraft. Going to kind of mix it up a little bit this week. We're not going to talk about a beer, we're not going to talk about a bourbon, and we're not going to review a bushcraft item. What we're going to talk about is a hard apple cider from Smith Forge. A fine sipping Tennessee whiskey, not a bourbon. And instead of a bushcraft, we're going to talk about a really kick-ass machete. So we'll get going. This is Smith Forge. It is a 6% alcohol hard cider that is made in Memphis, Indiana. SmithForgeHardCider.com. Like I said, it's 6%. Let's go ahead and give this a whirl. Kind of been wanting to try this a little bit because I am a blacksmith and a bladesmith in my free time. So Smith Forge kind of yanks on my heartstrings since I have my own homemade coal forge outside that I blacksmith at. And I've had a few hard ciders. They've kind of gained in popularity. You know, you got all the different brands out there. People getting hit in the head in commercials with apples and whatnot. And, Angry Orchard, which is actually pretty good. I haven't tried the Smith Forge yet. Wow. You can definitely smell the alcohol in that. It does smell like a real hard cider, not a brewed apple beverage, which a lot of the others that are out there are. It definitely has a very good taste to it. A nice amber color. Almost looks like an ale, a lighter ale. Wow, that's very good. It tastes like hard cider that I used to have when I was a kid. I would sneak while I was a kid. My grandfather made it, and us kids would go and sneak it. We weren't given it, but we did go and sneak it. It definitely tastes like a fermented pressed cider. That is very good. Impressive. Let's see what the ingredients say. Yeah, ingredients: hard apple cider. So they do actually make a cider. This is not a malted beverage with apple flavor to it, like some of the ones that are out there now that you would see. This is a true hard cider that has some apple juice concentrate added to it, some natural flavors, and then a couple malic acid and some sulfites for preservatives. It's got a light carbonation to it, not very strong carbonation, but definitely a good taste to it. Alright, the wife wants to try it. I gotta scoot it down to her. She's a big fan of the apple beers, as the others were called, but this is definitely not an apple beer. That is actual hard cider. And she's stealing it from me until she likes it. So now we'll move on to probably one of the most famous American distillates, Jack Daniels. Of course it is Old Number 7. You can see that, their standard black label product. This is distilled in Lynchburg, Tennessee. Not too awful far from where I'm sitting here in the heart of bourbon country in Kentucky. I'm sure everybody has tried Jack Daniels at one time or another. It's a good whiskey to shoot. Tons and tons of people drink it mixed with the cola, a little bit of lime in there maybe. But here on Beer, Bourbon and Bushcraft, we do things the good way, which is nice and straight. Every once in a while I like them neat. Got a lot of water in here, so I'm going to get rid of that. But I prefer my liquors on ice. I think the water opens up the flavoring on them a little bit. I will drink them neat, certain ones, but I prefer it over ice. I like the coolness of the ice, and then, like I say, the water definitely opens up the alcohol and brings the flavors out some. I don't like it too diluted. That's why I drank the water out of that cup there, so I wasn't going to dilute this. This is 40% alcohol by volume from the Jack Daniel's distillery, like I said, in Lynchburg, Tennessee. Probably one of the most famous American liquors out there is Jack Daniel's. Oh, definitely very, very caramely on the nose. It smells sweet. I'm not exactly sure what their mash bill is, so I've not visited Jack Daniel's to get a tour and see how they make their bourbon or make their whiskey there. It has a very pleasant smell to it. Oh, that's pretty tasty. Very oaky. Definitely has an oaky earth taste to it. It goes into clove and nutmeg and very, very oak and caramel. You can that charred white oak that the bourbon is aged in or whiskey is aged in definitely imparts a distinct characteristic to it. That oak sugar caramel flavor is very distinct and very, very present here in Jack Daniel's. And I have to admit, I've had a lot of Jack Daniel's over the years. I don't know that I've ever sipped any Jack Daniel's. I've definitely shot it, and I've had it mixed with Coke numerous times. I don't think I've ever poured any over ice and sipped on it. It's actually quite pleasant. Very good taste to it. Very caramelly. I wouldn't say sweet, but definitely pushing the edge of sweetness. Actually quite enjoyable. It's a nice tasting beverage. Okay, and as I said before, stepping away from everything, we're not going to review a bushcraft type issue tonight. We're going to talk about Schrade and their blades. This is the Schrade SCMACH 2. It is one of their machetes in their line. And look for a video on the heavy use of this. I'm going to take this out and basically beat the hell out of it. Try and do everything I can. This is my first impressions out of the box. I haven't had a chance to take this into the field yet and use it. So, looking about a 15-inch long blade, and you can tell by the shape of the sheath, which is a nice stitched and riveted nylon sheath. It's got a belt loop, so it's a dangler on your side. It's got a snap that secures the handle, and then a Velcro tab for the open portion where the blade comes out. As you can see, it's definitely got almost a scimitar curve to it. It kind of looks like a little sword that from back in the day you'd see Sinbad carrying as he was fighting the skeletons. And the old Sinbad movies they used to play on Saturday afternoons when I was a kid. Always loved those. Got a rubberized handle grip like you'd find on almost all the Schrades. It's very nice. It holds up well when it gets wet. It doesn't get very slippery. You set a snap closure here that holds the handle in. Velcro that secures the blade. As you can see, it's about a 15-inch blade. Got a little bit of thumb jimping there at the top, but with the raised handle, I'm not sure exactly why it's there. You've got some, I guess you could call it jimping or texturing on the handle there for your grip. You would think your thumb would go there, not up on the blade. So that I'm not exactly sure of the purpose of that jimping there, but it's there. This is the SCMACH machete. I'm not exactly sure the steel that it's made from. It's not marked on the blade. I'd have to do some research and find out. It's got a nice, slightly convex bevel to it. Looks like it's running close to 1/2 inch at the tip, down to around 3/8 where the handle meets the blade. Out of the box, it's got an edge on it. It's definitely not shave sharp, but I'm sure it would hack through whatever you need it to hack through. Machetes really shouldn't be extremely razor sharp unless you're taking them into battle. Then you'd want them razor sharp. But if you're going out into the field, you want a tougher little bevel on there so it doesn't fold over or chip when you're hitting some of the tougher stuff. But you use your might and the weight of the blade to snap through what you're going to cut. So that should hold up well. I say we'll take this out and see what she does and videotape it. Pretty neat looking little machete. It's a pretty blade. Like I say, I kind of like the Simcar look to it. Well balanced. See where the balance point on this blade is. Looks like it's about an inch high on the handle. So you definitely got the blade weight. So you can snap. It's got good snap to it. Feels good in the hand. Handle feels nice and sturdy. Definitely hacked through some stuff. Good action. Of course, the end of the blade being a little bit thicker, your weight carries out to the end, which helps you come through so that you can cut, which is what a machete is designed for, is to cut. So, all in all, impressive little blade. Not too bad. I'm not sure if it's full tang or not, since it's an over molded handle. You can't tell where the tang is on the blade. So we'll take her out and give her a test. It looks to be about 1/8 of an inch thick, so could possibly baton with this, maybe a little bit. We'll test it and see how well it holds up. Possibly right here in the center of the blade, give you a nice spot to whack down. Do a little bit of splitting after you cut through the weeds, but seems to be a decent little blade. So we'll go out and look forward to the video coming of the field test of the Schrade SCMACH 2 machete. But not bad. I like this neat looking blade. Looking forward to going out and giving her a test. Well, I appreciate your views. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you like or don't like. Anything you'd like to see upcoming on the channel here. I appreciate everyone watching. And until next time, I'm John with Beer, Bourbon and Bushcraft. See ya.